The question I'm going to discuss today is looking at prehistoric technology. How was the innovation of technology a result of changing environments, comparing specifically the Homo Neanderthalensis and early Homo sapiens species? My thesis is technology in prehistory was not just a product of necessity, but was deeply connected with the environmental challenges of these ancestors. Neanderthals diverged from modern humans around 500,000 years ago. There is no evidence to suggest that Homo neanderthalensis ever lived in Africa. The colder climates of Europe and Asia were home to the Neanderthals, whereas the ancestral home of Homo sapiens was Africa. By the time Homo sapiens began entering Europe around 45 to 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals were already well established there. This period marks the beginning of an overlap between Homo sapiens and Homo neanderthalensis. This video will focus on the innovation of technology as a result of changing environments prior to this Europe migration by the Homo sapiens. They both lived during the Pleistocene period, a time that lasted from about 2.6 million to 11,000 years ago, a time in which the Earth experienced many ice ages. Homo neanderthalensis existed from about 300,000 to 40,000 years ago. They had a cranial capacity ranging from 1.2 thousand to 1.5 thousand and 50 cubic centimeters. Neanderthals primarily inhabited Europe and Western Asia, possessing a robust physique well adapted to colder climates. Early Homo sapiens, dating from around 300,000 years ago to the present, show a cranial capacity between 1.2 thousand and 1.6 thousand cubic centimeters. Originating in Africa, this species was more gracile compared to Neanderthals and highly adaptable, displaying early signs of symbolic thought. Homo neanderthalensis lived through times when the climate shifted between very cold and milder periods. They had to innovate to survive the freezing conditions of Europe and Western Asia, creating clothing and shelters suited for the Ice Age. They often used caves and rock shelters that provided natural protection from severe weather. Neanderthals also developed specific hunting tools for tackling large Ice Age mammals like woolly mammoths. These tools were designed for effectiveness at close range to deal with the large size and toughness of these animals. The Neanderthals' adaptations to their environment included making insulated clothing from animal hides and building sturdy shelters to withstand the cold and snow. These were crucial for keeping warm and securing enough food in sparse, cold conditions. Early Homo sapiens, in contrast, evolved in Africa's diverse environments, from savannas to woodlands and deserts. Each of these environments presented different challenges, which early Homo sapiens met by developing versatile tools. Their tools were multi-purpose, used for hunting various animals and for gathering diverse plant resources. This adaptability was key to surviving in Africa's varied landscapes, where resources fluctuated with the seasons and terrain. Early Homo sapiens needed tools that could do many tasks, like digging, cutting, or piercing, to handle these challenges of Africa's different ecosystems. Their flexible approach to toolmaking allowed them to effectively use both animal and plant resources for food, clothing, and shelter, optimizing their chances of survival in a changing environment. Both Homo neanderthalensis and Homo sapiens developed significant cognitive skills for in-depth thinking and planning, which is evident in their tool usage. The Neanderthals used Mysterian tools, known for efficiency and standardization. These flake tools were crafted to perform specific tasks, showing that Neanderthals planned their tool production to meet various needs like cutting, scraping, and piercing, crucial for their survival. Homo sapiens, on the other hand, used a range of tools including fishhooks, harpoons, bows and arrows, spear throwers, and sewing needles. This variety indicates that early Homo sapiens could prepare for diverse scenarios, from hunting and fishing to tailoring. The advanced Mousterian tool industry was found at many Neanderthal sites. One example of what type of tools the Neanderthals developed is the levallois technique. The levallois technique was developed due to the harsh conditions the Neanderthals lived in. A stone core was used to shape stone flakes of a certain size and sharpness, which were then often used to make Mousterian points. These sharp tips of these points were important for hunting large ice mammals. The Neanderthals had the ability to efficiently produce multiple flakes from one single core, which allowed them to utilize the Levallois technique sustainably even though flint was scarce. These flakes were then reformed with hammerstones. Sometimes animal bones or even premolar teeth were used for reforming work. The oldest known spears are from the site of Schöningen, Germany, from about 350 to 300,000 years ago. A blade tool technology that dated to about 40,000 years ago, similar to the one used by the early Homo sapiens, was found in some Neanderthal sites in France and Portugal. According to journals.plos.org, the archaeological site at Pyra reveals evidence of Neanderthal tool use and strategies. Stone tools from the site show a variety of uses reflecting adaptability to different tasks. Local flint was primarily used, although some materials were sourced from up to 60 kilometers away. The analysis indicates that Neanderthals at Pyra utilized tools focusing on the function of individual tool edges rather than the overall form. The Neanderthal practices at Pyra were diverse, involving woodworking, animal processing, and a varied diet that included plants, large and small, animals, fish, and possibly birds. Woodworking tools indicate the shaping of wooden objects, likely including spears, while animal processing involved both butchery and hide working. Evidence from the site does not support the presence of hafted tools. Fishing, often considered a marker of modern human behavior, was part of Neanderthal activities at Pyre. This is indicated by tool residues and use wear, despite the absence of fish bones suggesting off-site processing. Bird exploitation was also evident, though it remains unclear if birds were primarily used for food or other purposes like feather collection. Overall, the findings at Pyra showcase Neanderthals' ability to exploit a wide range of resources effectively, adapting their tool use to the resources available during different climatic conditions. The discovery of wooden artifacts highlights the significance of wood in early human history. For example, pieces of boxwood found at a lake margin in central Italy at the archaeological site Poggio Vecchio are thought to be digging sticks, though their exact use remains ambiguous due to the versatile nature of such tools. This could have been used for crushing plant material or stabbing roots and tubers. Similarly, 9 spears and 3 other wooden artifacts, mostly made of spruce and picea, were discovered in a coal mine in Schöningen, Germany. Hadel's detailed reconstruction project identified the steps required to shape raw material into these artifacts. Both discoveries underscore the deliberate selection of high quality wood and reveal that Neanderthals were capable of relatively complex production processes. The development of stone-tipped spears marked a significant evolution in prehistoric hunting technology. These spears, which date back as early as 200,000 years ago in Western Europe, had several advantages over their wooden counterparts. Firstly, the stone tips, such as those made using the Levallois and Mousterian techniques, enhanced the spear's penetration and stopping power due to the ability to create wider wounds in prey. Additionally, if a stone point broke off or got stuck in a prey, it could help hunters retrieve the spear shaft, thereby saving resources and effort. However, the Neanderthals did not only create tools for hunting purposes, but also domestic tools. For example, they create scrapers for tanning holes into hides. These hides were then used to make clothing. They also used burns to cut into wood and bone. Furthermore, artifacts found with Neanderthal remains and Mousterian tools show that Neanderthals had cognitive abilities beyond just survival needs. These artifacts included ornaments, collarants, and bone tools with designs. These weren't functional but likely collected for their beauty. Evidence also shows that Neanderthals would wear feathers, claws, and shells. Additionally, they created simple designs on bones and stone fragments. Neanderthals also used pigments like red ochre combined with fat. These were often used to paint shells, for example. Furthermore, there is evidence that they would use the same resting and sleeping locations over long periods of time. About 400,000 years ago, signs of fire use, such as charcoal and scorched bones, started appearing concurrently across Africa, indicating not just random discovery but rapid growth of this technology. The innovation of the fire drill, a device that generates heat through the friction of spinning a stick against wood, was a pivotal development in human technology. This technique remains in use among traditional hunters, gatherers, and societies today. Interestingly, the earliest consistent evidence of fire use appears in Europe, a region then dominated by the Neanderthals. Given the harsh conditions of Ice Age winters, it is plausible that Neanderthals were amongst the first to harness fire systematically, using this critical survival tool to withstand the extreme cold. Fire was a revolutionary tool for early humans, providing heat, light, protection from predators, and a method to cook food, which would have contributed to better nutrition and digestion. The control of fire also enabled humans to inhabit colder regions, shaping their expansion and survival strategies. The harsh conditions of the Ice Age in Europe likely propelled the need for and innovation of fire usage. Neanderthals facing severe cold would have relied heavily on fire for survival, possibly catalyzing the development of more reliable fire starting tools like the fire drill. About 270,000 years ago in Central Africa, the traditional hand axe began to be replaced by the core axe, a compact and hafted version that shows wear patterns indicating being mounted on wooden handles. This new axe design rapidly spread throughout Africa and later into other continents as carried by modern humans. The development of the core axe represented a technological leap in toolmaking. Hafting access to handles allowed for more forceful and controlled use, enhancing their effectiveness for cutting and shaping wood, butchering large animals, and other tasks that required greater mechanical leverage. This advancement in tool complexity reflects early humans' ability to innovate solutions for environmental challenges. The oldest beads found in present-day Morocco are 140,000 years old and were made from snail shells by early Homo sapiens in North Africa. Modern humans in southern Africa began using them about 70,000 years ago. Beads signify early forms of personal adornment and social expression. Their creation and use demonstrate the cognitive and cultural sophistication of early humans. The earliest arrowheads, over 70,000 years old, are found in southern Africa, suggesting their invention by the Homo sapiens. This technology moved to various regions, including East Africa and South Asia. This technology was never adopted by Neanderthals, but likely played a role in interactions between them and Homo sapiens. The invention of bows and arrows marked a significant advancement in hunting and warfare technology. These tools allowed for hunting from a distance, increasing safety and efficiency. Overall, there was innovation by the Neanderthals, but also by the early Homo sapiens. The colder climates caused by ice ages in Europe forced the Neanderthals to adapt their technology to temperature regulation. The cold climates were quite possibly also a cause for their extinction. The early Homo sapiens were able to innovate more rapidly due to their less harsh climatic conditions.